Roger Waters was born in '43. When he was 4 months old, his dad was reported as missing, presumably dead, as a result of World War II. In '63, he began to lose interest in studies and decided to form a band. After a lot of formations and names, he settled with Syd Barrett on guitars and vocals, himself on the bass, Richard Wright at the keyboards, and Nick Mason on the drums, with the nifty household name Pink Floyd. After Syd Barrett, the lyricist and leader of Pink Floyd from '65 to '68, was fired from the band due to erratic behavior, Roger Waters assumed the role of creative master of Pink Floyd, until '85, when he left for creative differences. Well, actually it's more like he tried to fire everyone else of the group, since he filed lawsuits against the rest of the band for using the name and imagery. Under his leadership, Pink Floyd released all the albums the Floyd is famous for: Atom Heart Mother, Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, Animals, and finally, The Wall. Today we're going to talk about Pink Floyd The Wall, the movie, released 3 years after the album. Now, why did I talk about Roger Waters and didn't talk about the other members? Well, you see, the movie is about an alienated rock star whose dad died in World War II, that had an obnoxious mother, and yes, it's kind of an autobiographical movie, and most of them suck, so let's get this over with. First, let's talk music. It's great. It's personally my favorite Pink Floyd album, and that's considering these other two here. Now, it's kind of like a trilogy of awesomeness where I don't know anyone that don't like any of these 3 albums, but my favorite is this one. As stated before, the movie follows the life of Pink Floyd, a rock legend that is losing his marbles and shutting himself behind a figurative wall built by his mother, his teacher, and ultimately his wife's unfaithfulness. Although the role didn't ask that much from Boomtown Rats Bob Geldof to begin with, I think he did a marvelous job with the little he had to work on. The other characters in this movie don't do anything special, even having an already famous Bob Hopkins, but don't worry, he doesn't appear that much in this movie and he does jack shit. One of the main traits of this movie is its inconsistency. We will see the same character, grown up, kid, baby, kid, grown up, mindfuck, grown up. While many of these scenes may look confusing, that was the main intention, so it's a fun flick at that. Oh, and by the way, the movie really drags. Like, check this scene. We see a baby crying and a cat chasing a bird for over a minute, man. I mean, if you're gonna do something like that, at least make it build up to something. Oh my god, these scenes are just amazing. Who animated them? Gerald Scarfe? Never heard of him. What else was he involved? Oh no. 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 Why Gerald Scarfe? Why? But yeah, these scenes are awesome. Throughout this movie, we have 4 animated scenes. Goodbye Blue Sky, Empty Spaces, Waiting for the Worms, and The Trial. The one people remember the most is the last one, because, well, the giant ass. But outside that, all these scenes are just breathtaking. Of all the animated surreal moments in a feature film, these ones are the best. Well, maybe second best. Now, this movie may sound like it's already one of my favorite movies of all time, and it is, but it has some bad parts in it too, like they took out my favorite song of the album, Hey You, and left up some really bad tracks in my opinion, like Bring the Boys Back Home. The scene that accompanies Bring the Boys Back Home is awesome, but I still think that Hey You deserved a spot in that movie. The acting is bad at best. If it's not Bob Geldof, you can expect a pretty one-track mind going straight to nowhere, like the mother, the wife, and of course, who could forget the teacher. So many people remember this guy, it's so odd he never did anything but the teacher in this movie. Heck, he doesn't even have a name, but he does recite money from Dark Side of the Moon.
Money get back, I'm all right, Jack. Keep your hands off my stack.
After analysis in the end, when Pink Floyd get judged by the asshole judge, you don't get to see a resolution, so this movie doesn't really work as an epic storyteller and doesn't really work as a slice of life. It's best to be seen as an autobiographical piece than anything else, and it tells basically the psychologically disturbed life of Roger Waters. I really love this movie. When it has worked in its favor, and even though it's an 80s movie of an 80s album, it really captures the 70s vibe and surrealism in the animated scenes and in the live action scenes as well. Now, if you're a Pink Floyd fan, it's a must-see. It's a really good movie because it has a really great soundtrack. It's a really good movie for a Pink Floyd fan. Now, if you don't like Pink Floyd, run. Run for your lives. There's nothing else in this movie outside of the animations. If you're not a Pink Floyd fan, just see the animations parts. This is JotaKa, signing off.